All right, welcome to the Sushi Forum, where we discuss this week's news, proposals, and developments in the Sushi Swap ecosystem. Accompanied by Tangle and Orion Muir, as always. Thanks for coming out, everybody. So we can just hop straight into the stuff I've got prepared. Um, this past week, we passed 50,000 people in the Sushi Swap Discord, which is pretty awesome. If we were a country, we would be the eighth smallest country, growing in size, but pretty small for now.
And
Pretty
growing
exciting.
dramatically. This is really cool to see. It was like just when we did I just think back to Sushi Birthday when we were doing making up POAPs for everyone. I was like, geez, 32 or 33,000. Like now we're at 50,000. It's just like not even 2 months later. So really cool to see this place growing. So thank all of you.
Yeah, it's super exciting. I've also got this. This may or may not become a a recurring um, segment, but we've got a weekly DeLong post. I've just put it in the AMA text questions. This one was made by at Supreme Brick with like soup at the start. Hopefully, we'll get some better memes in the future. And we also got 80 million plus TVL and sushi on Celo currently earning rewards. I think I saw the highest reward APR was, or APY I saw was like 150, 140%, something like that on Celo. It's definitely millions that are moving in there. It's good for very low cost mobile transactions. Check it out. And in terms of the onsen AMAs, Tangle, you can let me know in terms of what AMAs we have potentially coming up, but we've got both the Celo AMA and the Bridge Mutual AMA that are up on the Sushi YouTube channel.
Yeah, those
Just
were
gonna
this week.
drop the links.
Yeah, those were up this. We had those this week. And yeah, or I guess CeLo was Friday, and then Bridge Mutual was Tuesday. When we had yesterday, Wednesday, and yeah, we've got X.xyz for tomorrow as a MISO launch auction. They're also an NFT style platform. So yeah, that'll be on tomorrow, and then their launch will be next week at some point. Yeah, just they're trying to get a little attraction behind it, so hop in for that
Interesting. What is? Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say hop in tomorrow at 1500 UTC, depending on where your time zone is. I just like using the UTCs. But yeah, 8 a.m. PST, 11 EDT, 1700 CET, or 2300 UTC plus 8.
Amazing. And is XYZ doing a MISO sale?
Yeah, they're going to be doing an auction here next week. So we should hopefully have everything ready to go with MISO with a kind of a new revamp. And yeah, be ready for that.
Cool. Okay. There's also we have some stuff in the sushi suggestion corner, the features.samurai.io website that Pegbit put together. I'm gonna drop the link for that as well, just to remind everybody it exists. We had a request to create a clear UI for sushi supply and inflation distribution. So currently we have like this chart that shows the decreasing emissions, and it's sort of like a broad picture of sushi supply and emissions. But what this person is identifying is that we don't have a way to clearly identify um, liquid sushi, sushi that has not been unlocked yet, how much sushi is going to every single individual pool or every single individual chain, just a way to get some analytics on the full picture about sushi supply and inflation, um, which is definitely a real request. You can like roughly get these numbers if you just spend too much time like looking at tedious shit. But it would definitely be very nice to have like a clean website to look at for some of those numbers.
Seems like a perfect segue for a proposal. And also, I'm surprised there hasn't been a custom-made Dune Analytics board for that purpose. A lot of other protocols have them. So yeah,
Well, I
that
think
is
it's because it's just so like the only way you could do it is by manually updating the Dune Analytics page to track every single like new pool that has like incentives and stuff like that. But I don't know. I could also be totally wrong here. There might be a much easier way to like extrapolate these numbers out from a more centralized position than just tracking every single individual pool. But I don't know. That's for a smarter person than me. So yeah, we can move on to the proposals, and we've got currently a snapshot going for this community-enabled analytics, which is something we discussed a few weeks ago.
Yes, yes. Is that my cue?
That is your cue.
Oh
Abby.
yeah, yes. I was just Go ahead, Abby.
Oh yeah, no. Yeah, thanks guys. Glad to be here. And yes, just to that point on the pools, that is absolutely something that CEA is designed to solve. Obviously, we could get community analysts to periodically be updating, looking for new pools, including them in any analytics we produced weekly, daily, whatever it would be. But yeah, the proposals for community-enabled analytics, had an awesome chat here a couple weeks ago with you guys. The focus of the proposal is to bring just that community-enabled analytics to SushiSwap. We are live on a number of other protocols doing this. The basics of CEA are, we provide a free analytics solution to any analyst you want to join that includes a SQL queryable data set updated in real time, as well as a robust API to build in external applications that we have a number of analysts doing. We combine that with a pretty extensive bounty program, probably the most extensive in the industry, designed to drive analytical outcomes. The goals of the program, obviously, one is to work directly with the sushi community and any folks in there to directly, gather and deliver on any analytics that the community thinks are essential, work with the core team where it's necessary, and then build out dashboards, in-depth research. The different types of deliverables we can do are pretty varied, but obviously well managed. And then the key piece beyond that, the analytics itself, is the driving of new users and getting sushi tokens in the hands of folks who care about the ecosystem or helping build it, right? So it's not just analytics, it's also kind of a user acquisition plan. We have a community of 4,000 analysts and it's growing. And so whether they're coming in from Thorchain or Aave or Uniswap or Terra, we're getting those new analysts also interested in other protocols as well. So kind of all of that wrapped into one, and hopefully designed to drive growth and add protocol clarity and data and all those good things. So I will pause there before I steal all the breath from the room and open up if you have any questions.
Yeah, so you say that like one of the expectations is a community of 460 educated analysts to produce on-demand insights. I guess that's at the end of 1 year.
Yes.
And then 27,000 sushi retained in ecosystem. Is that like sushi coming out of the grant that is like when you say retained, it's just like unspent? Is that what you mean by that, or?
Yeah, exactly. And yes, and the reason we're calling that out is, you see a lot of liquidity mining programs and other targeted campaigns meant to, you'll see protocols taking extensive marketing budgets and allocating them in different ways, airdropping whatever to quote unquote targeted addresses that have either interacted with the protocol or performed some, action within the protocol and during a snapshot period. And oftentimes what really ends up happening is that's super, you can game that and you see a lot of dumping of tokens, right? They just acquire the asset and then dump it on exchange, and you're not really getting the attribution that you're looking for. What we've seen from these programs is because we are basically getting these tokens in the hands of analysts who are interested in the protocol and working in kind of a more targeted segment, a more valuable segment of users, then we see these users are holding onto their tokens more. So if you look at like an ecosystem like Terra, the retention's higher, obviously, because it's 97%, because people can stake tokens there and earn rewards. In Sushi, we probably see higher than other ecosystems like Uniswap, where there's not really anything you can really do with the Uniswap token except for maybe delegate it to yourself and vote. So yeah, the point is that we're getting these tokens into the hands and seeing a higher retention from the program than we would with other methods to drive usage of the protocol.
Gotcha.
Does that make sense? I don't know if there's any piece here that I missed. Do you want me to address it?
I mean, does anybody from the community? Nobody has any questions? I don't want to just steamroll.
I guess I'm curious on which data sets do you think are the most powerful? Like, what do you expect to uncover that will really shed light onto our protocol?
That's a good question. I mean, there are some really cool things that we could start doing in terms of like the different user segmentation and understanding the types of behaviors of users on the network. And like one interesting thing we're doing, a current research report that a couple of our elite analysts are performing, is starting to score and rate and create kind of profiles of addresses who are performing valuable services for the protocol or interacting, and kind of scoring them to say these are valuable individuals who would be more valuable, or would be more valuable for an airdrop, for example. So kind of sharpening the protocol and the community's knowledge and ability to target and drive quality usage of the protocol. And so that's kind of up to the analysts themselves, and we kind of pride ourselves on having a really strong analyst group of researchers who can start to ask these critical questions and work directly with the core team or the community to start sussing out some of these harder questions. And that's kind of the exciting part of it, is that when you have this broad array of analysts that we have in our community with all that talent, very rarely is there a question that we can't find some type of resolution for or really start to dig into. And so that's why it's like, bring it on. Like let's get deep. And we have this capabilities to either drive really, really in-depth research that can, drive strategy, or, just build, really nice looking dashboards and tools like the Uniswap V3 calculator or the Thorchain calculator that can, obviously directly, incentivize folks and give them trust to, execute on LP strategies or whatever it might be. So yeah, there's lots of opportunity there.
Avi, I've appreciated you coming on these forums in the past, and I've gotten the pleasure to talk with GJ a good bit and some of the other Flipside Crypto members. My question is kind of flipping things around. Flipside's model is one where you pose questions to analysts, but what kind of analyst queries or other efforts have come about generatively or organically from just the providing of data sets, and sort of what highlights would you give about like just things that people have found out once a given data set has been available that has somehow people weren't thinking about, but then once the analyst has made their case, some insight is gained that's surprised and benefited everyone.
Yeah, I love that question. We actually set out on a pretty fascinating look across the Terra ecosystem and airdrops as a whole, and started to look at, are these things even working? Are people claiming them? Are these just getting thrown out into the ether and just, like sitting in some locked address and really not being utilized at all. And the results were fascinating. It was in large portions it was exactly that these were just extremely ineffective solutions and efforts to run these airdrop campaigns. And I got pinged by several different players at different protocols at within that ecosystem saying like, all right, this is amazing. What else can we dig into here, and what else can you guide us? Another protocol, it's still in the works. I can't mention it quite yet, but they're rolling out a new leveraged asset model, and they want to run a stress test on what would have happened during a May market downturn, and then they want us to create a tool where they can start to run simulations and strategies using different parameters. And so we're like, yeah, sure, we'll do it. And we are now currently in the midst of bountying that out to some of our analysts to build a scalable solution for that. So so those things that are like really exciting that we sit here and we ask ourselves those questions all the time. That's one of the things I spend a lot of my time discussing these strategies with protocols, like how can we drive growth, how can we become smarter about the things that we're doing. And now we kind of have the ability to do that and access it. Sometimes you may not have a person on staff, or you can't find someone in the community or on your team that has those solutions. But when you start to really open up the platform and drive talent and bring in talent and analysts from a bunch of different areas, you start to kind of fill in some of the gaps that you may have when we have limited resources. And so it's kind of been cool to be like, there are lots of challenges out there, and we're confident when they come along that we can find someone to step up and solve them for us. So it's pretty cool.
You do statistical modeling for possible events, like if changes happen, what will be the effects? Did I understand that correctly? I didn't realize that in your proposal that was some of the services you offered.
Yeah, I mean, it's not I wouldn't say it's like it's hard to cover the breadth of the services that we've done. It traditionally is kind of like risk modeling has been reserved for some teams like Gauntlet and others. But you get analysts in your community. That was a new request that literally came up 2 weeks ago that we're starting to work through our kind of our processes here and our PMing and working with the community analysts to figure out what data requirements there are and make sure that we're squared away. So not in this initial proposal because it's kind of new, but those are the things that come along all the time where we're not going to cover in a simple proposal all of the different nuances of models that we could do, and some we surprise ourselves, right? We think that we have covered the breadth of possibilities, and then something comes along that sounds hard at first, but then we ping we have an elite group of analysts in a channel in our Discord that we work with, and you ping them and see what's possible. And some of them are like, yeah, I actually did that 2 years ago in my 9-to-5er that I left. And so yeah, it's fun to see what pops up and what we can solve.
This is a bit more broad, but I was just curious, what are there any lessons you or any of the team have learned that has sort of guided how you go about getting community analysts to sort of, join in and try to participate? Is there like is it is it just the money that really like motivates them, or is there some other fancy technique that you guys found that seems to help build that community?
Yeah, and it's a great question, and I think it's something that all of us that have been in the Ethereum community in particular for a long time understand, is that like there's a certain level of trust and that you need to build and have with different protocols. And there are certain teams that we believe a lot in, that we focus our efforts in supporting. It's kind of why we're here in Sushi. We believe in the mission, and we want to help support it. We can cover a broad swath of different ecosystem protocols, but there's only a few that we can really target CEA at as a whole and be super helpful. And so I think part of it is really just getting in with the community and building that trust. And it shouldn't just be about the money, right? It's about believing in the mission and the goal to drive results from what we're building and what we're trying to bring to the community. And so it's not, we don't want people to come in, make a buck and leave. Like, we want them to be joining our community and our Discord, and we want to be active in partner Discords and build those relationships. And, you know, hopefully this would be just a start of something that we could be working on together and be a key component of growth. Is, you know, you guys are aggressively you know, moving to other ecosystems and launching on different chains is kind of core to the Sushi ethos, and that's what we're aligned on as well. You know, we're bringing on ThorChain, we're bringing on Terra, we have a bunch of other protocols in the works that we're going to be releasing on our data platform. So I think, like, just the general vision and the ethos there in general aligns really well with ours, which is why we're here.
Yeah, I kind of want to just echo that, where I think, like, as we expand, you know, in so many different ways as a protocol, going, you know, all the way from, you know, making this like a whole DeFi suite, or like, you know, welcome home to DeFi type thing, where, you know, we've got everything from launching right on MISO to being able to create like liquidity, provide like distribution and like mining process here through Onsen and all that, along with, you know, the LP positions. And then, you know, even with Trident coming up, Bento Box, all these other, you know, and then like even to connect show you to this as well, like we're starting to grow out more and more. And if we can have, you know, some help with that, like with what you guys are offering, that could be very advantageous to try and align all of this, or put like more, create alignment, I guess, and like streamline a lot of this too.
Totally, yeah. I mean, in the early discussions that we had with Joe and Omokazi, like that's really what they expressed, and it's Joe's main impetus for kind of, you know, reaching out and discussing this with us, and kind of identifying the need there. You know, we're committed to being that kind of partner, and help build a community around it that will do that. So yeah, it's exciting.
Awesome. Danner, did you have something that you wanted to bring up, or do you just want to hang out up here? It's fine as well.
Yeah, I work with Avi at Flipside. I'm on the analytics
That's
side. One of those pieces around, you know, like some of the interesting things that you see come out. Avi did a really awesome job of sharing some of the outputs as far as dashboards or calculators or tools, but I think really highlighting too that one of the things that the community, rather like the sushi community or whatever protocol or chain partners with Flipside gets, is active participants. So, you know, we can aim the analysts at a variety of things, but, you know, I've seen in the sushi Discord a couple times where people are asking for CSV downloads of analytics.sushi, or asking for quick ad hoc analyses. Having more analysts in your community who are versed in working through the sushi data is something else that kind of comes along with this.
This is a little irrelevant to. Oh,
No, go ahead.
Here you go, Ting. All right. I was just curious on in your studies of airdrops, if you found any things that were statistically significant for user retention of airdrops, or just any of the findings you found in that data.
Yeah, I have to pull it up to look at some of the specifics, but honestly, what we found in terms of, you know, there being certain user like address profiles or behaviors that users who performed this type, you know, kind of on-chain heuristics you could derive that were more likely to utilize the token airdrops, was the impetus for us to drive a broader research project to actually kind of score these addresses and provide those types of, you know, business intelligence metrics to teams. And so that was probably the biggest outcome in terms of, like, you know, one really cool research project leads to an even better one. And so that was really, like, to follow the logic there. That was probably the biggest takeaway for us. I can find it and share the results from the different ones. We performed it on, I think, 4 different protocols there. So when we're done here, I can pull that up and drop it in the AMA text questions section there.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, both that and toxic people, like how to figure out who the toxic people are, just really interesting to me, because I'm in a community that's doing an airdrop. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, obviously we're not dealing with PPI, but there's definitely, understanding of like general user behaviors that are important to get smart on, especially as you're rolling out across different ecosystems and trying to find some type of some consistency or normalcy or way to normalize different behaviors across different chains. And I think that starting to think of this critically and create models where you can identify these different behaviors, and it's if there's malactors or to the best actors, it's definitely key to be able to start doing that at scale. So it's pretty cool that we're able to start helping teams do that.
I love how like part of the process is that by like having this data, it creates questions in our mind to like further figure out solutions to things we didn't even know we're looking for. So yeah, I think that there's so much intangible benefit to these kind of inquiries that I'm really excited for that it's looking like this is passing.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, honestly, that's really it. It's just like giving the opportunity to get in there and start to build. I think the value is exponential in a sense. You get in there, and once you have this kind of army of analysts who are really smart about so many different things at the protocol's disposal. You start to kind of pull that thread and go down the rabbit hole of different things that you can explore. And so, yeah, it's pretty neat to see.
Yeah, it's really, really exciting. I'm betting that the snapshot is going to pass. Now I don't know that for certain, but it's what I think is going to happen. After the snapshot passes, will a core team member have to propose it as well? I'm not sure if you know the next steps past that.
So I think did a core member? I think
Oh no, Ross. Yeah, Ross came up.
It's binding, right? Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Cool.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, and as soon as that goes, if we pass, I hope it does, then we're pretty much ready to rock. It'll just kind of allow us to open the floodgates, and we'll get rolling immediately.
And how will you?
I'm sorry.
Oh, go for it, CryptoBar.
Yeah, more of a broader question about the data, but just thinking about the average person, kind of average Joe, day-to-day person that doesn't look at crypto as much. Like, how do you guys think about kind of getting this information to them and like synthesizing it down to something where they can understand? Because I think that like we're all like bullish on sushi. That's why we're here. And it's like one of those things where I think the next leg of the run could possibly be people from outside crypto. So like, how do you guys think about how to sort of like get this information out to them in like in a better way, I guess?
Yeah, that's actually an awesome question. I'm glad you mentioned it because I think there's probably a piece to CEA that we haven't quite explored here that is essential. There's a major educational component to this. So a key thing that Drake and all the other wizards we have in our midst do is we're focused on bringing analysts that have maybe not a lot of experience in SQL through the program, right? So we hear literally every day people coming in going, I had no idea what SQL was, or I came in here having barely any experience. Our community is super helpful, and they ramp up, and after a few weeks, they're just crushing queries, turning deliverables out. We've had people tell us they literally got jobs because they were able to pad their resume and learn doing what we're doing. So the educational piece, and then just to tie into you to kind of a major thing that we're going to start to see, especially as kind of crypto becomes a little more mainstream, is the influx of these retail users and maybe people that just are noobs, and how do you distill that data down? And that's honestly something we have a marketing team that works all the time directly with protocols to showcase different initiatives and create blogs and whatever to showcase the outputs from programs. So that's definitely something that we would love to work with, sushi marketing guys and the community to be able to showcase. And we have resources we would devote to kind of distilling some of the most important data down and make it more digestible to help onboard some of those the noobs to crypto.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
perfect because I think there's so many different things you can do with sushi.
Breaking up, Law. It's Crypto Bunker. Maybe just repeat yourself there. A lot of that was just broken.
Oh, I'm sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just said basically I just said thank you. That I think that will help. Onboard people onto the call. There's obviously a lot of things to do with sushi, so just any advice that you have to make that easier for the user is going to be great.
Yeah, actually, just to add to that, it's just brand new. If you look, we dropped some links in the AMA text questions section. But to your point, exactly. So we run for protocols. We run scavenger hunts as well. So we actually just kicked sushi a scavenger hunt off for sushi today. And that's designed to do exactly what you're doing. It's a really simple scavenger hunt just to say, like, perform these simple tasks, earn some sushi, like get used to how these things work. And we have, we'll bounty out to community analysts to create, tutorials and templates for doing that as well. So yeah, we're like actively addressing that. I think that's a key thing is just to get noobs used to using, a DEX or lending or understanding how we show you in NFTs, whatever it is. Definitely like a key component of it. Drake, did you have anything to add there? I know you were going to jump in.
Yeah, no, I think I'm glad you mentioned kind of like bountying out different types of things. So we do have like different levels of what will happen where there's some, higher level things that might go on that are tightly collaborated between the flip side core team and the sushi team or sushi community. We'll have those wider bounties, which are going to be analysts attacking things. We have the scavenger hunts, as Avi mentioned, the one live for sushi right now, where can help people walk through how to use the protocol and interact with the different pieces of it. And then content bounties, which is something I really like. So I know sushi has a really awesome medium. You guys do a lot of really good content, and it's really commendable. We can, hit that from multiple angles by bountying out other types of tutorial definition.
While we're talking here, we're going to drop something in here. One of our analysts performed an analysis of air jobs for Faye and Tribe recently. So just an example of some of the outputs from the community.
Awesome. I'm really excited about this, about you guys getting set up for sushi.
Thanks. We're pumped.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay.
And thank you, Zappuccini, for dropping that link in there. Anybody that hasn't voted, please go and do that now. Or whenever you've got the vote is good till the 23rd. I'm just looking here. You've got 23rd till I don't know what time it is. Like probably. Yeah, just make sure you do it do it today because it's
do
it today. Today you could try tomorrow as well, but it ends at I think I'm just trying to think of the UTC time on that. It should be like I don't know. It's going to be like 1900 UTC. I think is what that ends at on the 23rd. So make sure you go over there, and if
who knows when that is.
And if you do go over there and vote, there is an I voted POAP as well. So for those who vote, you can go and claim your POAP right after. So make sure you do that so that you get that extra POAP.
And if anyone has any questions,
Go for it.
yeah. And if anyone has any questions, feel free to find us. Our forum proposal is up and waiting for any comments or ideas. I'm I'm in the Discord here, in the Sushi Discord. I'm active. Find me. You can see my name here, Avi. Hit us up anytime. Love to chat with you if you're curious about anything else and you want to just do it direct. Hit me up.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you, Avi, Danner, and Wimwam. Thank you guys for coming out. You guys are awesome. You guys are like top notch.
Thanks. You guys too. We're really pumped about this. So hope it works out and we can get our hands dirty with some stuff.
Awesome. All right. So just before I move on to sort of the last proposal topic I want to talk about, and also just Avi and Wimwam and Danner, if you guys need to go or would like to leave, feel no shame or anything like that. It's totally fine. But if anybody wanted to bring up any other topics or anything that they just wanted to ask about, now's a good time. Feel free to raise your hand.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I saw Cabbage. She put up the prototype MISO, like a little test link for like people to play with and send feedback. I can drop that in there again, but yeah, it's in like the user testing channel.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, it was
Thank
like
you.
a tweet.
Yeah.
She has like it's like a mock-up of the new site design, and you can click through it and check it out.
And
I
did you
see.
do that? Is that with her directly, or is that just user straight experience?
It's on this maze link right here if you want to take a look at it. I haven't really given any feedback. I was just playing with it a little bit.
It's actually directly, not through her. You just go there and like you just like browse through it.
I just wanted to bring up on the previous topic of the I voted POAP. I thought when I first went to it that there was no POAP for the proposal. So I was curious for people who voted before.
Yeah,
They'll
still get it. It's all retroactive as long as you voted. The POAP is once it's available. Like even if the snapshot would end, and if I go back and make I voted POAP for it like 2 weeks later, you can still go and claim it at that point because it just takes a look at the whoever has voted. Those addresses are essentially whitelisted, and I think it just mint like if I remember last time, like it just mints directly to your address, right? Because you're already connected with your wallet and everything, and then when you hit like mint, I think it's just like you might just have to sign for it, or not even. I can't really remember. I'm gonna go here vote today, so I'll be able to.
I remember claiming last time. It's a little big.
Yeah. Anyway, just a sign there from Ghost. Thank you. Yeah, if Ghost is
whatever link it sent, had it all.
But yeah, the like I have to have the snapshot has to be up first so that I can send that to POAP, and then they link it to the POAP that I create, and then that way, so there's always going to be like it's always going to be listed without a POAP at first, and then depending on like how quick their turnaround time is, and how quickly I can get to it as well. But yeah, off we go.
All right, I'll just switch gears over to this.
Just maybe before
Pedro.
Before that one, just as we're on the topic of POAPs, just wanted to mention like that the proposal that's up on the forum for the POAP-a-thon. If anybody hasn't gone and commented on that or voted towards that, every bit of support that we can have for that would be awesome. Just essentially the hackathon that's for POAPs. A lot of communities getting involved. Put on by, I don't know, we guess like I'm just waiting for us to be a part of it, I guess, to be like officially, funding. But I feel like we should. And I think that's going to be a great way for us to engage with other communities that are involved and are similarly aligned. And even let's see who's over there, like Volatility and Balancers interested. Shapeshift, Zapper has expressed some interest as well. I know those guys are busy, but they are interested. Kidao as well, and who am I missing? Uma, I think, is involved. Like there's a bunch of like other homies too. So like it's yeah, if thank you, Wim, for dropping that in there. But yeah, I think this is a really unique and creative way of getting involved with other communities, and I guess and also to like give the POAPs like a bit of attention as well. They've been super, pretty awesome for our community and have been a huge engager. So please, if you can, go vote on that or comment as well, so that we've got some extra feedback on that. But yeah, hopefully that's all groovy, and yeah, if nothing else, I'll just like fund it myself if I have to. But that would be
Listen,
good.
if the team doesn't fund this, I'm going on protest. Going on stream.
Yeah. All right. So yeah. Cool.
Yeah, so definitely make sure to tweet angrily at Joseph DeLong until they fund the POAP-a-thon.
Yeah, it should be all
Thank you,
good here.
everybody.
As of Tuesday, I'm going to try and connect with everyone, with the core team, and we'll try and make this all groovy. But yeah.
All right, so moving on. So this proposal was created by Pedro. They're pretty active. I don't think they are around right now, but they're pretty active in the community. They've been around for a while. They have a proposal for governance voting incentives. And so the summary: incentivize voting on core proposals by granting sushi tokens to every voter. Sushi Swap is a community owned and community managed project. Every voice matters, but the current voting system doesn't incentivize small sushi token holders who can feel insignificant in comparison to the sushi power of big guns. As a result, Sushi Swap core proposals are voted on by a very limited number of community members, around 50. We've got to pump those numbers up. But how? We could start by offering a fixed amount of totals of sushi tokens, the same for every voter, regardless of their sushi power, for every vote. This would be a powerful incentive to get community members to cast their votes and get involved in governance as a whole. And then he talks about how there would be like a threshold amount, and the sushi could basically the amount that you claimed would also offset the gas cost that is involved in claiming it. So, I mean, I love increasing community governance engagement, but my biggest concern with this proposal is just the possibility of Sybil attacks and basically extraction of sushi.
Isn't this proposal like a year old?
Wait,
We
I
don't
don't.
From
even.
October 2020.
Did I look at a? Did somebody comment on a year old? Oh, it's in October 2020, not October 20th. And then somebody commented, and 2 days ago, yeah.
I was gonna say
Oh man,
it doesn't sound like it makes a whole lot of sense right now at the moment.
yeah. So
Oh,
just
yes.
diving back through the archive, looking back at past proposals.
Yeah,
Now,
just
okay,
doing.
but what is a smarter way to do this? How is it possible though to reward small token holders?
POAPs.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't matter how much, like, there's no gas cost to vote, so there's really no like disincentivization. Like, there's no reason not to vote, even if you just have like 5 sushi or something.
Well,
Yeah.
I've been seeing the power of Sushi Intern trying to give away some NFTs and just absolutely blowing up. So, I mean, well, POAPs are NFTs, just like it's not that hard to have some sort of NFT minted as well. It could be on various chains. Um, yeah, that's similar, but not necessarily through a POAP to make it seem more special. I don't know.
Yeah.
For some reason, I make up that. What was that?
No, I think I kind of second that. I think perhaps at the end, like once it starts to scale up, I don't think they have like intrinsic value. But if you try to create like some kind of NFTs or something that we can provide some value to it, I think that might be a better mechanism because the more we scale, there are going to be like a lot of apps. I don't think it's going to matter a lot, you know.
I think
It
with
just depends on how you're gonna use. Like, I know you can do the retroactive airdrops with them and stuff like that. So I don't know. Like, I wouldn't. You wouldn't want to bring everybody out of the woodwork. Like, yeah, like the Sybil tax. I don't know.
again, we can have like specific POAPs as well that can be, you know, perhaps like curated or delivered after in certain ways versus just like, you know, all the POAPs you have like are equal value. And like that's like kind of setting up some sort of a quadratic system based around certain POAPs. You know, like perhaps the, you know, did you vote? You know, like the voted POAPs, those are the ones that actually count versus like, you know, coming to, you know, just an AMA maybe. You just came in once or twice for an AMA and you got one. Or, you know, maybe the forum,
Well,
you know, isn't.
because I feel like the I voted POAPs are
Mhm.
even more farmable, more vulnerable to Sybil attacks.
True,
right?
true, yeah.
Yeah, you just need to vote, and there's no barrier really besides just having sushi.
There's no.
Well, you have 100 sushi, you split it up into 100 wallets, and you vote from every single wallet.
Is that gas? But is that gas efficient? There's the thing. Is it like, you know, if you're going to split up 100 sushi and you're going to send one sushi to each wallet just to get POAPs for that, I mean, what's the cost of moving X sushi? Is that actually like a threat? I'm wondering because like it's going to cost you probably $10 in ETH to move each one of those, right? So you're going to spend $1,000 to get that POAP, but then what happens if we put like thresholds on it? And we say, you know what, from here on out, we'll put like, you need to have 10 sushi to get, you know, to vote on that POAP. And then suddenly those ones have more value. Now, if you want to game the system, I don't know. Just thinking that through out loud, I guess.
What you're saying makes sense unless you know how to batch transactions, where then you can do one transaction on ETH and send it to thousands of wallets, although it's a lot to code. But yeah, it's not that costly.
True. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I don't know. It's something we'll have to. I feel like we can have. I feel like popes could work. It's just that we have to use the correct pope, and we have to have like a good enough barrier where it can't be botted, where people can't just, you know, sit somewhere AFK and farm for the pope that allows them to get the airdrop for voting. You know, something that is a little bit more involved.
Yeah, and we do have like the engagement. So here we've got. I'm just loading up the AMA text questions again. Here, my iPad shut off. But yeah, like could reward month engagement POAP holders for governance engagement as well. Reward these staying involved and informed. Yeah, that's like probably a good way of looking at it too. Like we do have the the engagement POAP, which is a little more curated. Obviously, that takes the it does like require a little more manual effort, but in this case, like we are starting to see some other protocols. Just a quick little shout out here, but with in regards to like kind of community gated like curation and like forcing and seeing proper engagement and proper verification, and that's kind of an interesting concept.
Yuma's been going hard on it lately.
Yeah,
trying to like wall it off a little bit and like really make people get involved before they start reaping all the rewards.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, they reward people.
Yeah. So I don't know. Like it's obviously kind of builds a new new kind of like setup, like a new kind of I don't know, another thing to just like handle and manage and deal with. But I mean, we have a community here, and we can probably look at something like that and make that happen. So
I'd be interested in people's thoughts on something like a streak of consecutive voting POAPs. Like Zapper makes me think of this, where the check-in quest will give you more rewards up to a cap if you do it on consecutive days. And so while it might be a huge pain to, track all of the Sushi Power addresses and their contributions across multiple snapshots, it would be simpler to have something like a hash map or dictionary that stores an address and keeps track of how many votes it has done. And that also incentivizes, or rather mitigates incentives to distribute POAPs to multiple wallets, because anytime you distribute more sushi from a given wallet, that new wallet has to start over with the like consecutive POAPs. I guess this would be more of like a Fitbit or like a log a workout kind of thing. But be curious on people's thoughts there.
Yeah, I like that idea, and I mean, um, just people like that gratification of leveling up and stuff. So if we have like even if it gives you like a meaningless role in our group, or just like you can hit exclamation point level and see like how hard you're repping the sushi brand or how active you are, and then retroactively, I mean, not even let people know it's going to get them something, and then maybe figure out some way to reward it in the future. It just sets up an infrastructure. Of course, it always can be gamed, but I think that anything that is giving people a little bit of that dopamine, I did something, I achieved something fix, is actually a powerful tool in itself.
Yeah, and like with Discord and roles, even if they're not necessarily displayed, they don't need to be all the time, but there is that role, and once you have certain roles, of course, those sorts of things when integrated with Collabland and looking at your wallet and seeing certain they can actually look at POAPs and recognize those, then offer rules based off of that. So there's like a little bit of automation there that kind of helps us. Yeah, even the Collabland part could be a bit of a help as well.
One thing that this brings up in my mind is just what is more important, voting or taking part in the talk, the governance talk that leads up to the vote? Because like I think on like the Phantom Sushi trope, and just how eloquent the discussion was there, and how high caliber the discussion there, that is like what impressed me rather than someone voting, even though it's really important for us to get up the voting numbers. But I think even if you are just participating in the governance discussion, it gets you emotionally attached to want to vote. So I feel like the forum is almost as important, if not more important, than the actual stuff. And yeah, how to reward and in game it is all in question. I don't think we need to reward people. It sure was sweet when last year we, like, if you participated in the community roadmap, you were shipped some sushi. Um, but I think what we want to facilitate is people to be involved in the creation of ideas and of being a part of the overarching sushi ecosystem.
Yeah, something I was also thinking about is that like maybe even using the trust levels within the forums themselves, um, it might be a good way to. I mean, at least I haven't seen anybody that seems like occasionally there will be like fake accounts, but it doesn't seem like there are like farmer accounts that are like trying to level up their trust on the forums. Um, that might be useful, but I don't know. It's definitely something to think about and consider for the future. But I think I don't know. I think I lean towards the POAPs. Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. Is there any other topics, questions, concerns, proposals, ideas, input that anybody wants to bring up? Oh, somebody has a Vasam. Feel free to raise your hand. I think you might have to click it again. Oh, okay.
Wow, that's
Vasam
so
changed
sad
his
that we
mind.
only have 15 votes on the Poapathon. I'm
Get out
starting a
there.
single tier.
Get out there and vote. Come on, everybody.
Whoa, whoa.
I had a question real quick. Like, what's the possibility that we could do X Sushi on Polygon as well? Because I feel like a lot of people are using like layer 2s, so I don't know if you can only become X Sushi holder on Ethereum. Is that something that's people are working on, or is that possible at all?
Yeah, you might see it down the pipeline.
I
Oh,
think.
really? You think so?
Okay.
I always had concerns that would be just almost not possible.
I think it would make most sense at this point to maybe do it on Arbitrum, so you could have like that would have synergy with Abracadabra's deployment there. Polygon would open it up most to more people.
It definitely have to be a layer 2 of Ethereum. It's not doing Binance. That's for sure.
Yeah, I do like that idea of
Bridge
Arbitrum.
supports arbitrary tokens, right? Sorry, Tangle.
No. I'm just echoing what you're saying. Yeah, Arbitrum probably is a good option as well. I know Polygon has a ton of traction, of course, and that has been like asked for a while. But yeah, I'm not sure how like bringing the bar over there would work as well. Not. I know there was concerns.
I think Ross mentioned yesterday, like X sushi pools are being like the devs are working on it on Polygon.
Oh, okay, sweet.
Amazing. If they can do that, then they can do anything.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I feel like the rise of Abracadabra gives a lot more exposure to X Sushi and makes it more of an attractive asset. And so to give more people opportunities to get exposure to it is really exciting as a holder.
Yeah, it really could use more uses on the other chains.
Like
Wait,
at least
yeah.
I think Arbitrum would be a great place to look. I mean, obviously we don't, send a pigeon to the devs right now to get them in, but the two pools on Arbitrum with the highest TVL are the ETH MIM and the Spell ETH pools, and they're 4x more than the wrapped BTC and wrapped ETH, like 40,000 or 40 million higher at the minimum. The MIM ETH pool has 213 million. So it's clear that there's it's nuts there.
Yeah, they're really driving Arbitrum to get fat with liquidity. Also, in terms of the sushi staking, do we even need staking on other chains? Can't we just like incentivize like a sushi X sushi pool on all these other chains, and then arbitragers
Cash out on
should
Ethereum,
keep
basically.
it in check? Well, yeah, you won't even have to cash it out on Ethereum. You could just buy the X sushi on Polygon, and then arbitragers will keep it in check.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But I mean that is also like a different solution path than having multiple stakeable locations for the sushi. So I don't know. We'll see how that shakes out. I think this is getting close to a good place to wrap up for this week. If anybody wants any last thoughts or comments, people want to barge in and object to something I said, feel free. Alrighty. Well, yeah, I think this was a great Sushi Forum this week. Thank you again to everybody from the Flipside Crypto team for coming out. Really appreciate you guys.
Thanks for having us, guys. It was awesome.
Yeah, thanks for coming out,
Thanks,
guys.
y'all.
Appreciate it.
Glad to have you working with us.
And yeah, we will catch everybody next week, same place, same time, 9 p.m. UTC in the Sushi Swap Discord. Yeah, stay safe, everybody.
Thanks, everyone. And if you want, just stick around here for the POAPs. We'll shoot those out right away, so just hold up.